John 8:32. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And the truth is, no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what you're going through, God can bring you through it. So stand up and declare that you definitely gonna make it. And that ain't nothing but the truth, the whole truth, all truth. Yeah, that's right. And this is strong truth.
You're exactly where you're supposed to be. For the truth, that is what will set you free. You're stronger than what it seems. Be free, be who you're called to be. With you on this journey, you can make it. You can make it. It's just a lies and deception. It can be misleading. You can make it. You can make it. Just keep believing. Yeah.
What's up, y'all? It is Precious, and we're back with another video on the Strong Truth Podcast, where we vow to tell nothing but the truth, the whole truth, our truth, the strong truth. Yay. But I'm a little nervous, y'all. I'm gonna be honest, because I am recording this first video without my host, and so he kind of carries the intro, but I'm gonna do what I can. But today, as you guys can see, the setup is a little bit different. We talked about having this 50-50 conversation, and I have three lovely ladies with me today, and we're going to go ahead and introduce each one of them. If you would like to tell who you are, tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Hi, you guys. My name is Brianna Bill. I am from Vidalia, Georgia. I live in Reedsville, Georgia. I am the owner of K-Lab and More in Reedsville. And I am the author of A Story Only I Could Tell that is now out on Amazon. So you guys go get that.
Okay.
And I'm just glad to be here to support my cousin.
Okay, good. Thank you. And that's so crazy. I couldn't wait till you finish so I can say, and that's my cousin. So she is my cousin. So our next lovely guest, can you introduce yourself for us and tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Keisha Carr. I am from Glenwood, Georgia. I've lived in vast surrounding counties over the years, but I'm known from Glenwood. I am a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a minister, and by day I am a medical assistant. I've been in that role for about 10 years now. So that's a little bit about who I am.
Okay, M.A., come on. That's really good. That's really good. I appreciate you for being a part of the pod for today. And now, last but not least, who do we have sitting next to me?
My name is Tyreka Jackson Battle. I go by Ty, because most people butcher my name for some reason. But I am married, no children. I do have 2 dogs that are my babies, and about 15 kids in the neighborhood that think they live with me.
Oh.
And other than that, I just spend most of my time in school and ministering at my church.
What's going on, everybody? It's the one on Strong Jones
And Precious.
We need y'all to do us a favor. We need y'all to go follow us on all social media at the Strong Truth Podcast. That's YouTube,
Instagram,
TikTok,
and Facebook.
So that y'all can keep up with everything that we're doing.
All right, so thank you, ladies, for accepting this invite to be a part of this panel, if you will. We have noticed that there is such a disconnect between women and men, at least online. So I know that if it's online, it carries throughout society, on jobs, in churches, in different places, And so we wanted to, as the Strong Truth Podcast, we wanted to bring this to our platform so that we can bring some awareness, so that we can just tell our truths, our truth, and try to bring some type of common ground, to this whole war. And the first thing that I do want to talk about is how I got each and every one of you on this podcast for today. I did not know who I wanted on the podcast. I would be so honest. And Strong, he kind of knew. It's almost like he knew we was going to do this episode, and he already had his people in the bag, and he was ready. And I'm like, uh-oh. So we were supposed to record this, a month or so ago, and I did have 2 people at least that I want, 3 people actually. One which was my mom. And then I was like, wait, it might be a little biased because mama real strong, and I already know I know where she going. You know what I'm saying? So I can't get my mama on here. And so, and then I had 2 other people that I wanted to be on, and they're just like, it wasn't their thing. And I'm like, it's cool. I wasn't going to force anyone, and, I want people to be comfortable, And then Miss Carr, she like literally fell in my spirit. Instantly, I knew that I wanted her to be a part. And so reached out. She was like, "Girl, let's do it." Like, you know, she was ready. And then I really did not know who else. And I just kept being in prayer about it. And these two ladies end up reaching out to me, and I'm like, boom, there we go. That's it. You know, it was a few others who reached out, but y'all were the ones who ultimately, made the cut, if you will. And so, again, I appreciate you guys for coming, setting aside this hour or however long to be a part of this episode. Now, let's get into the tea. We're going to jump right into it. So, I want to know, what is y'all's take on the 50-50 thing in relationships? What's y'all take?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I really don't like 50-50.
Okay.
I think it should be 100 and 100.
Okay.
Mainly because I've been in relationships in the past where 50-50 doesn't always work. One, because one person usually winds up giving a little bit more than the other.
Okay.
I know they say split everything down the middle, do it this way, do it that way. In some dynamics that works well. In others it doesn't.
Right.
It just depends on the two people that are in that relationship. For me, my current husband, he's a provider. He's a man's man, and he doesn't believe in certain things that I should do or that he should do. And he supports, whatever endeavors I bring to the table. From the financial standpoint, he just believes that he's the provider.
Okay.
And at first that was a struggle for me because I was a single parent raising my children. So it was hard for me to accept that role.
Okay.
Because you're used to, I'm doing it. I'm the independent, not relying on people. And it was hard at first, but now I've kind of eased into it, and I still have some issues, from my standpoint of where, because I was so independent and because I'm used to doing things the way that I'm used to doing things, that it's still kind of hard for me to accept, that shift.
Okay. Now I want to ask you, because with you saying that he is the sole provider, my question to you is, for those who question, because I have that belief, that's what I was raised around, so that's all I know. I haven't been married or anything like that. However, people ask the question, so what you doing? What you doing with your money? You just keep all your money? He pay all the bills, and now he go without. So what you doing with your money?
So the conversation that he and I had early on, even before marriage, he said, okay, so I'm going to provide. Meaning, I'm not gonna. He never really asked me about money. The concept of money, but I think it comes from just how he was raised, because he came from a 2-parent home. So he did tell me, what I expect though is if something happens and I fall on hard times, is for you to be able to back me. So I keep that at the forefront. Save as much as I can. For me, my problem with the saving is being a single parent. If my children ask me for something, even in their adult life, I want to give it to them. Okay. And so that's a lot of where our conflict comes in, because he feels, they're adults and they should be able to stand on their own. Okay. But it's just it's a mama thing, So that was the conversation ultimately, was for me to save and be able to help him when he needs it.
It will help me, period. Now, anybody else, what y'all got? What's y'all take on the 50-50 thing?
For me, I think that is 50-50, like it seems too cookie cutter for me.
Okay, explain cookie cutter.
Like it's designed to fit everybody.
Ah, that's good.
And it's not.
That's good.
Because like in my relationship before me and my husband got married, like we were both working, both contributing to everything. And then I got injured, and now we're all of a sudden a 2-income household to a 1. So that 50-50 no longer fit that situation. It was just 100 solely on him. Yeah. And so I just feel like that causes a lot of conflict when you try to force that 50-50 in areas that it just might not fit, and then I feel like, because I grew up in a two-parent household, but in some areas it was 50-50, but in some areas it wasn't. Like, yes, my mom worked. Yes, my mom contributed to X amount of bills, but my mom completely took care of my sister and I. Like, my dad was just like, here's the money, go do what you need to do, and everything else was on my mom.
Okay.
So hindsight, to me, that wasn't 50-50, because if anything happened, my mom was the one that had to miss work. My mom was the one that had to take us to the doctor, and, all of that came from my mom. And before I got married, I used to try to fit that 50-50. But it caused more problems than it was worth. So I was just like, the heck with 50-50. And if it works for you, cool beans. But I'm just going to do what works for us.
So I have a question, because now you're stating that 50-50 was an issue. Now, the people who argue about 50-50, they act like that's the best thing since sliced bread. So for there to be an issue from 50-50, because I hear, well, if you was living by yourself and it was 100%, and I get with you, why is 50-50 an issue, right? So can you elaborate on what were some issues with the 50-50?
Okay, so like whenever we try to do 50-50, like, hey, we split everything down the middle, even down to household chores and even down with the dogs. And that's where it became a problem. Because I was raised in cleanliness is next to godliness household, and he wasn't. So when it came to 50-50 for household stuff, that was going to cause a problem for me, because your mopping the floor is not necessarily my mopping the floor. And your cleaning the kitchen just consists of washing dishes. Mine is washing dishes, drying, putting them away, wiping everything down, sweeping. That's my cleaning the kitchen. So in certain areas, it did cause, some conflict. And so, and even with the bills, like, to me, it wasn't comfortable, because I always felt like, yes, I'm going to contribute, but if my husband is bringing in most of the income, then he should be saving more than I am, versus me just saving all of my coins and spending his. So, yeah.
Okay, I can see that. That's good, and I thank you for elaborating on that, because I'll get into it after cousin go and tell me what's her take. What's your take, girl?
All right, so the 50-50 thing, I honestly believe it, one, has a lot to do with how you're raised.
Okay.
But two, it has a lot to do with our generation.
Okay.
So grandma and granddaddy, that's just set in stone. Granddaddy work, grandma stay home, cook and clean. Now the roles are almost reversed. You got some women that make more money than men, and you got some men that make more money than women. I was raised in a two-parent household, but the way my dad was raised was to take care of the house, be provider, cook, clean, wash clothes, all of that. My mom was what I call, not our version of a city girl, but she was raised differently. Everything was given to her.
Yeah.
So I took after my dad. So I've been working, and I'm a single parent. So I'm a go-getter, and I'm hyper independent. But when I have conversations with guys, it's kind of hard, because it's like, if that's my stuff, then I should pay for it. If you drive a Dodge Ram and I decide I want to go get a BMW, that's my car. That's not your responsibility to pay my car note. And I think with our generation, they want, a lot of the females, and I'm seeing it a lot, they want to be taken care of. And it's like, okay, well, if he leaves tomorrow, then who's going to pay your bills? So 50-50 is cool, but I feel like it should be the household. Like, if you decide you want to go somewhere, that's what you wanted to do. We did not agree upon that together. I don't know. I kind of, what she said, I really was like, yeah, because that's what I'm dealing with. It's really hard to just sit down and be like, okay, but you got it. Go ahead. Because I'm constantly like, did you do that? Are you sure you did that? Like, let me double check, because I know I'm going to handle business. Like, I'm going to tell you one time. I'm going to ask you one time. If you don't do it then I'm going to do it.
Then I'm going to do it myself, yeah.
So that's where the conflict is coming. It's like, again, I feel like the gender roles have changed, and I don't know when that happened in our generation, but we're not grandma and granddaddy. Like, I'm sorry, like, we're not. Like, everything is different. Society is different. The economy is different. What worked for them didn't work for us. But see, I'm single. I've never married. So I can't say what happened. I just know my relationships. I be like, I got it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, me. Go ahead.
Dating is different too. Like you said, you know the difference in dating. It's a whole different bracket. Because what I've learned though is when you date with intention,
Thank you.
and you set your standards at the beginning, then you'll get exactly what a lot. Well, you gonna eliminate a lot of things. Let's say that because you'll be able to weed out the bad versus the good.
Yes.
Previously, I didn't know what that looked like. I was just a free dater.
Me too.
We
out
gonna
here
go
doing
with the
stuff.
chips and let them fall where they may.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I got older and had gone through, because this is my third marriage.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I had gone through quite a few,
Yeah.
bad marriages and relationships.
Yeah.
And so they'll change your mindset because after my marriage before this one, I felt like I lost everything. Not material, but mentally
Oh, you are.
and physically. And it just drained me and it took me to a place that I'd never been. So when you get to that, then it changes the trajectory of how you see
How
things.
you see things, yes.
And once your eyes come open, you think different because my prayers became different. I then proceeded to ask God to, okay, God, typically my people, what I'm attracted to isn't what works.
Amen.
The attraction that I have, I like tall, dark, and handsome.
Come on, somebody.
I want them clean cut. I want them smelling good. But it wasn't working. That wasn't working. So my prayer was for God to strip me of what I like, what I believe
Oh, wow.
in,
That's good.
and replace me with what He wanted me to have.
That's good.
And that's exactly what He did.
That's good. You said something when you were like, sometimes we get in certain situations and we compromise so much that we end up changing who we are, and we don't even look at like, oh, I want to be married and I want to do this, that, and the third, but we get in something and we find ourselves compromising so much that we change. I ain't got to get married. We doing everything anyway. Like, I remember I was in a 5.5-year relationship doing everything all wrong, and I was always a person who wanted to date in a particular way or didn't want to date in a particular way, and I ended up dating that way, all of the things. And so then I found myself saying, we could just get married like this, or we could just, I'm an extra girl, and I'm being very extra, and so I was minimizing what I know I truly wanted, and in the back of my head, I'm just like, later, I feel like I'm gonna regret that. Like, I'm gonna regret the fact that I didn't get to do it how I wanted it, or it wasn't how I really wanted it to be, And so I think that's a really great thing. And you went back to, y'all had a conversation about the money situation, and I find that being something common across the board when it comes to marriages and stuff, because my mom told me that that's how my daddy was. Like, my daddy, he was raised in a 2-parent household, but it ended up going left and all the things. And so my daddy has this mindset. Well, then he didn't want that. He basically wanted the total opposite of what he saw in a way. And so that's what he's created. And so mom was like, he had this conversation. I don't know how to do this money stuff. I'm just give you the money, and if you need something, just let you know. And so that works for them. And I think sometimes we try to fit these narratives, or we try to the cookie cutter thing. We want it to fit everybody, and if it don't fit y'all, then that's fine. And it's like, you can't make 50-50 work for me if that's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I think we have to get comfortable. Here's the thing. I think we have to get comfortable in who we are and what we have, and who and the journey that we're on. And if you don't like that journey, then get on another one. You know what I'm saying? Right. You can't make me want no 50-50, because I don't want no 50-50. And then I'm gonna go back here, and if y'all got something to say, but then, because I'm about to say this, and then y'all can yap. But she said, with the 50-50, for some odd reason, y'all tell me if I'm wrong or y'all don't hear it like this, but it seems like the 50-50 is always associated with money.
It is.
Absolutely.
They don't think past that.
They don't think past money. And I'm like, so y'all think about is money. Like, okay, so y'all don't live, y'all don't need to be nurtured. Y'all don't need to be spoken life into. Like, y'all don't need any of the other things, but y'all just focusing so much on money. And for me, I guess, I think Cuz said this, and I saw a post too where somebody mentioned that we're not our grandparents. And so in a way, we're not our grandparents, but I done seen many stay-at-home wives. I've seen many stay-at-home wives. I don't know the dynamic of their marriages, but I've seen many stay-at-home moms, and apparently in some type of way it's working, you know. And I do know, I don't know if y'all know them, it's Tyler and Deja. They're young. They just had 2 babies. Tyler is a minister. They both sing, whatever the case is. But they had different seasons. They both was working. She was a stay-at-home mom. They both was working. She was a stay-at-home mom. So it seems like the Bible says it's a time and place for everything. It's a season for all. You know what I'm saying? So that season might have expired. Y'all got to hit the ground running, save up, whatever the case is. Now we got to go because now they have 2 children. And so now she's home taking care of those kids. So I think like one of you guys said, you know, it ain't one size fit all. You really have to do what works for you, and you cannot feel any type. You can feel some type of way, it might not matter about how other people live their lives, but just do what works for you. Just do what works for you.
That's right.
I think social media has a lot to do with, you know, people trying to force the 50-50 because, you know, you see it and it makes it look so good, and then that's what you want. And so,
But you don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
Like
Everybody sees everybody's relationship. They're like, oh, they're so cute. Oh, they trust me. Been there, done that.
They're going to show
Been
you the
there, done
good.
that.
not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what they're going to put on display, the good. They're not going to tell you about the bad that they go through.
Right.
And I was listening when you said that 50-50 is mostly correlated to money. Well, the thing about my husband is if I say I'm tired, he doesn't expect me to cook. He'll say, don't worry about it, I got it. You know, or pick us up something on the way home. He's really easygoing, and that was scary for me because I've never had a person that cared as much about my well-being. You know, especially when you've come out of bad relationships or you've experienced things that you've just been privy to for a long time. Then when you get the good, but then that I was reminded of, it was what I prayed for. And when you pray for certain things and God gives them to you, then they're going to be exactly what you know, what you want it to be. It's going to be scary, especially when, you know, it's something that you're not used to. So I can't, you know, that's why I said I don't even know if I would term this as a 50-50 relationship because we both give as much as we can. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have disagreements or, you know, we don't have differences because we do. A lot of it is probably because of our age difference because he's younger than me.
How many years younger than you?
8 years younger than me.
Ooh.
And people were like, they act like they never know it. You know, when they look at it, they're what? Wait.
Drop down.
You know?
Okay.
And
24.
you know, and at first I was like, when I found out his age, I was like, because I done been there, done that.
But some of them
know?
are more mature.
He is very, very mature. He's the first man I ever dated that had his own everything when I met him. And a good credit score.
Okay.
Okay,
look, let's start there.
Let's start there.
Strong on the credit score.
So I was like, whoa, is this for real? You know, there's something wrong. There's got to be something wrong. You know, we instantly start looking for the wrong. And it was just, it blew my mind actually, you know, especially him being the age, you know, that he was and had everything. I ain't gonna say everything together, but he was holding his own. And I had never seen that before.
Yeah, that's really good. And I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. I guess they say third time the charm.
Oh, that's, you know, a lady told me that one time, and I argued with her.
Okay.
Because I was in a place of, I ain't getting married no more. This is it. I'm done. I'm going to live my single. What they used to say, hot girl summer?
Be out the door. Outside.
I'm outside. Auntie outside. You know, that's what I was, that's the era in my life that I had. And then I moved to Atlanta, and I met a doctor that I was working for. And she told me, she said, come here. She said, I want to tell you something. And I'm looking at her like, what's she finna say? She said, I don't ever want you to say that you don't want to be married again. And I said, why would you say that? And she said, because nobody wants to grow old alone. She said, that's something you have to think about when you get older. She said, you probably not worried about it right now, you know, because you're still in your prime. She said, but when you get older, you don't want to grow old alone. And it was something to think about because I really was living my best life in my mind.
But that's usually when you meet who you're supposed to be with, when you're
not looking.
When you're not
Absolutely.
looking.
and you see them and you like, Nah, and the Lord be like, I'm gonna show you one more time now. Really?
That's so true. That's so true. Oh goodness, that's true. And then I guess I keep going back. I think about the money as it relates to 50-50, but I literally think of it all across the board. And I'm gonna tell y'all, when I was living in the world, I lived with a man for about 4.5 years, right? And so I was his wife as his girlfriend. Like, y'all, I ended up finding myself, because I love to cook. So I was cooking every night because I guess he was bougie and didn't like leftovers. So I was cooking every night. I was fixing his lunch. I was earning his clothes. Like, y'all, doing the most. Ladies, do not do that.
But
Do
then
not do
said
that. Do
don't
not
be
do
a
that.
wife to a boyfriend.
You know what I'm saying?
Or
Do
like
not
old
do that,
people
y'all.
used to say, why are they gonna buy the cow
When
if they get the milk for free?
Why buy the milk when you get the cow for free?
The whole
Because
farm.
I'm giving you every single thing. And then here I am, 5.5 years in a relationship with what to show. You know, but the thing that I did even, like I experienced, I guess, per se, the money-wise, we did like 60-40, 70-30 type situation where he paid most of the bills and I threw a little 1-2 here and there, you know. I was okay with that, but that wasn't what I wanted. Come on, compromise, right? And so it's like, my husband is going to just know.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to force what we desire on these people. Like you said, your husband was raised around that. He knew, that's just who he is. My husband just gonna know. You know what I'm saying? And so I think sometimes we try to make people fit who we want them to be, and we got to love people for who they are. You know, and if you can't love me for wanting to pay all them bills, you don't want me. You don't want, you know what I'm saying? You don't want me that, cause you know. But I know, like I've done all the things. Like he and I in the world doing it wrong, but felt comfortable. So I know when God gives me my husband, it's going to be right. I would never like glamorize that portion of my life because it was not right. It was not right. And he didn't go with I changed his little wardrobe. He was putting it on. You know what I'm saying? Like we went out. I would pay for dates. Like just different things like that. So I know that if it felt right or okay doing it wrong, when God give it to me for real, oh gosh, oh gosh. So I say, y'all, don't settle for real. Don't compromise. Don't compromise. If God has put it on you to want marriage, if God put it on you, that man pay them bills, and you gonna be a stay-at-home wife, whatever the Lord has been putting on you, He didn't give you those desires for nothing. Right. You know, He didn't give you those desires for nothing. So you stand on that, and He'll send you who you're supposed to have.
Because
I used to tell people
that you went to that told you.
She was. I worked with her. I was working for her. I was her MA.
Okay.
But what you absolutely said, because people used to ask me. I had a person come up to me one time in the store, and they said, "How come it is you always get married?" And the first thing came to my mind was because I'm not girlfriend material.
Hello.
Thank you.
You know, I don't carry myself in that manner.
That's good.
I'm not dating you to be your long-term girlfriend. I don't want, that's not what I ever desired. I watched my mom struggle growing up as a single mother. And then there's times that you just look at the things that you desire. And like you said, God gives you the desires of your heart. And if you say, I don't want to be a girlfriend for life, then you won't be a girlfriend for life. Yeah. But if I'm okay with being a girlfriend, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to be a girlfriend.
But you have to date, and we're skipping it.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk
That's
about
the problem.
Let's talk
We're
about
not
it.
Date
dating.
with intention.
Yeah, we're not even dating, period.
What does that even supposed to look like? What it supposed to look like, cousin?
What does dating look like? Because that's another thing that's an issue. The opening the doors, the chivalry, they're saying chivalry is dead. Chivalry is not dead. It's just that everybody has a different look of chivalry. You opening my door, chivalry. Not necessarily like bringing my food to me, but okay, let me back up. It has a lot to do with what your love language is, and a lot of people don't even know their love language. They're just doing whatever, like you said, whatever works for them, whatever makes them happy. That's the problem. But we're not dating. It's instead of let's meet somewhere and go out to eat, it's what time your kids go to sleep. But that should be a red flag anyway. Oh, what you doing all day? I'm working.
Yeah. What you
all
doing?
day. What are you doing? You're not working.
Right.
So I personally pick up on stuff like that. Like anytime I do date or talk to guys, I let them know up front. I try not to put all my business on the front street what I do because I'm trying to gauge where you at.
Mm-hmm.
They'll ask me what I do. I'm a medical assistant. I keep it at I'm a medical assistant. I don't even go into the business aspect
Mm-hmm.
because as soon as I say that, now it's you such a no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still me. You've been buying your own stuff. You're going to continue to buy your own stuff because you're not my man.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't even made it to the dating portion, so we can't get past the let's have a conversation. I'm big on intellectual conversations, like how we're talking. If we can't sit down and do this, we don't have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Because that means if we have a heated discussion, you're not going to know how to respond to me, and that's where that yelling comes from. That's the confrontation. Confrontation and yelling. People that yell and argue do that because they feel like they've already lost the battle, so they're going to try to overtalk you.
That's good.
I'm very calm. I don't argue. How I'm talking to y'all, this is how I talk when I'm in a relationship. What am I yelling for?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if we get back to dating and taking each other on dates, because we do have roles like as women, but it's something that a lot of people say, oh, well, the man's supposed to cater to us. And you were saying something about the 50-50. If I don't have it monetary, it's nothing for my man to come home and he's having a bad day and I speak back into him. That's going to help him get through the rest of his day.
Right.
I don't necessarily have to give him no money
Right.
and vice versa. But we don't know how to speak into each other. We don't know how to build each other up because we're on Facebook all day tearing each other down. And then you got so many people that's like, oh, it's girl power. Yes, it's girl power, but who's our backbone?
Mm-hmm.
Who's our backbone and how does it drop down? How does it fall? You can't base everything off of what you see. It worked for them, it's not going to work for you. Like you said, you prayed. Somebody told me, when you ask God for something, be specific. You might say, I want a tall, dark-skinned man. Okay, let me drop down and be a little bit more. With that strong-minded, that centered in you, that praise, that can actually help me get through. So we can talk about some stuff together.
Yep.
Because if I go in the store and say, do y'all got any wipes? They're going to say the wipes over there. I need sensitive wipes. I need about a 50 count. I got to be specific to get exactly what I want.
That's good.
But a lot of people just praying, Lord, send me a man. It's not somebody else's man. Lord, send me a man.
Hello.
Send me my man.
And not a narcissist.
That's the problem. Not a narcissist.
Right.
Not somebody that, I'm good with the mama's boys, but not somebody that you got to call your mama for everything. Well, you mean your mom can be cool, but you don't have to say, babe, let me call my mama. I don't have a problem. Have a relationship with your mother.
Please.
But I feel like that's another topic because that is an issue too with single mamas. They still want to, that's my baby. That is your baby. That's my man.
So, hello.
I'm going to handle that. I got
Heavy
that.
on that.
But I'm going to let you go ahead. Cause
So that's good.
Yeah.
Listen, and I'm glad you brought it up because my next question is, how do we feel about the whole battle of the sexes? Like she said it on Facebook, we're tearing each other down. We're tearing each other down. In Genesis, the Bible says, when God created Adam, He said it's not good that men be alone. You know what I'm saying? And so, why do we feel like, oh yeah, even us women, we independent. We could do it on our own and all the things, but God has created a helpmeet for us. And we need, and it might not be relationally or whatever the case is, but we need people.
Absolutely.
And so those people can consist of men, the opposite sex, or for men, women, And so what do you guys feel about this whole gender war, this sex war that's going on? I say social media, but in the world.
I think most of it comes from immaturity. You not seeing people for who they are. You not having, like you said, conversations with people that are intellectual. You have to be able to sit down and converse with people to really find out who they are. You can't build any type of relationship with anyone without having a conversation first and getting to know that person, personally on a level that you can understand each other. So for me, I used to be one of those people that would lash out at people really easily. Like if they piss me off, it was for me. What Michelle Obama say, they go low, you go high. I was the opposite. You go low, I'm going with you.
Going to hell.
I'm going there.
Yeah, I'm going with you. So even in relationships, I found myself doing that. And a lot of that was because of trauma that I had experienced that was unhealed. And unhealed trauma causes you to be a person that you may not even want to be.
It does.
So you have to look into yourself and look into others and build those relationships. They have to be first you got to heal to be able to build productive relationships. You got to do the work. And a lot of people don't want to do the work. They want to look at other people and point it's them, but never looking in the mirror saying it's something wrong with me. You know, I can't keep having these same things occur unless I have an issue. So you got to figure out what that issue is, and sometimes you might not like the answer. You know, it may be you instead of somebody else. So you have to really dig deep and see why things are occurring the way that they're occurring. And I think that's why a lot of things are going on the way that they are, the wars, because people have deep lying issues that they haven't dealt with that's making them be the way that they are.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even know. Like, they don't know, like, they have a problem until somebody says something. And then they're like, oh, yeah. So, like me, I had a problem with communication. I didn't realize that until I dropped back to, like, my younger years. And I was like, when I was smaller, I could talk about stuff, but, like, how we're talking, this was fine. But, like, actually expressing what's going on with me, I shut down. So, in relationships, that would be my problem. Like, as soon as something happened, I'm like, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm good. And they're like, no, something's bothering you. Then I lash out. I just said I was fine. Leave me alone. And then I stopped dating for like 2 years. And I'm like, what is wrong with me that is causing me to have issues with men? Because they're not doing anything to me, but they're triggering something inside of me that is reflecting. And when I finally sat down and did that, now I tell people up front, I used to have a problem communicating. I did. I didn't know how to express my feelings because when I was younger, me saying what was wrong became a problem. And I do feel like we're taught to be strong. We're taught to just go through it, just bear with it, just deal with it. They don't teach us that we need to sit down and evaluate what is wrong so we can become stronger and deal with life. But a lot of that is just inside trauma that has happened, that the brain will suppress things or memories to keep the body going. Okay? Like grief. People grieve different ways. When I grieve, I start working more. But then eventually I have to sit down and say, okay, this is what's going on. You need to deal with this now, because it could literally take one thing to happen and it's the end of the world. And it's like, it wasn't that situation. It was something that happened before that just festered up.
Yes.
But it's trauma. It is, like you said, it's trauma. Everybody goes through something. If you don't deal with it then, it might not come up for a minute. But when it does, now your significant other is like, dang, I just asked you to, did you take the trash out? And you blowing up and you throwing stuff. Like, what is the problem? And it's like, it wasn't what you asked me to do. It was because 10 years ago, this and that third happened. And your tone of voice reminded me of what happened. But it's not just us. And people don't understand, because of how we're made, we're automatically emotional individuals. Men have feelings too.
They do.
But a lot of people don't acknowledge that. So when guys go through stuff, they're like, oh no, he's fine, he'll just get, no, your man is hurting. Okay. Ask him what's wrong, talk to him. I feel like a lot of relationships will work out better if couples sat down and talked about what they were going through. Even if it's just, because men ask us all day, how was your day? Oh, it was good.
It was okay.
How many times we ever say, how was your day? And actually listen. They'll say, oh, it was good. Oh, okay, well, I'm finna go to such and such. And I'm like, that's why your man don't want to be at the house.
Right.
Because you don't care. And they'll say, oh, well, why did he cheat on me with such and such? Because she listens.
She listens. That's good.
She listens. She does. It might be for 5 minutes, but she listens. Like, I have homeboys that call me to vent to me, and they have girlfriends. And I'm like, why don't you go take her with you? Man, I can't talk to her. I'm like, why you with her? You can't talk to her while you with her.
That too, though. Yeah.
I mean, help me understand what the problem is. But that's what it is. We don't acknowledge each other's feelings. We don't acknowledge each other's trauma. We don't acknowledge each other, period. And we're dating off of face value and not what's inside.
You know why, cousin? Because as soon as they get the opportunity, they throw it in their face. And so now I'm being vulnerable with you. I'm taking I'm taking a risk at really opening up to you, because I do love you and I'm trying to, but as soon as you get mad, that's why, you know what I'm saying? So now you don't even have a safe space to even open up. But I know my homegirl Bree, I can call her, she gonna listen, she gonna give me, you feel what I'm saying? So which that also stems from somewhere. It's something within you that feels like, why are you so angry? And you feel, well, you could be angry because the Bible says you can be angry but sin not. So you can be angry, but why do you got to put your mouth on this person that you say you love? Now you hurting them. Why you want to hurt them? So now when they shut down, you can't even be like, no, he don't talk to me. And I saw he was talking to Woo at work, like you said, because Woo listen.
But that's what a lot of the posts you see when there is a back and forth about communication, the guys always say, because when we open up to y'all, y'all use it against us. That y'all, that pronoun is very big.
Yes.
It really
All
is.
it take is one or two females to do the wrong thing. Now I got to prove to you that you can actually trust me. Like, I'm not going to do that. And trust me, I've been in relationships where I've sat there and let my man run around the house. He arguing, he loud, and I'm sitting there like, come here. Just come sit down.
Yeah.
And it's tears rolling because he's looking at me saying, nobody ever set me down and said, how are you doing? Actually listen to what I had to say. And I'm like, because you telling me what you're going through does not make you less of a man.
Right.
That's the problem. They feel like crying, talking about it. A man that cries is stronger than a man that will put their hands on you. Because a man that put his hands on you don't know how to get his emotions out. So that's how he do that.
Absolutely.
So
That's so good. That's so good. Even when you was talking earlier, it made me think of and even Ms. Carr Minister Carr when she was talking, sometimes y'all, it's like we're not willing to accept what the other person says, and so we're like, no, this just who I am. This just how I am. This just how, you know what I'm saying? And so that might be who you are. I was telling one of my coworkers yesterday, I said, sometimes we don't have to change our entire being. Sometimes it's that one thing that'll change our entire life.
Absolutely.
That one thing that can give you a whole different perspective on life, on dating, on love, on all of these things. And so just do the work for yourself and be real with yourself.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it may not be that you have to change 6 things. It might literally just be that one thing that you need to shift in, that you need to change the way that you think in. Your mind. And that, man, listen, it's that's the game changer.
Absolutely.
That's the game changer. So I'm a turn this thing around a little bit, and I'm gonna go Bible. And so, but I am gonna go into church.
Okay.
I'm gonna go into church because we say this battle of the sexes, right? Now, I have a friend who he sent me a screenshot of. Y'all probably know this verse, 1 Timothy 2:11, maybe 2:9. I can't remember, but it states that women should be quiet. Women should shut up, don't talk, you ain't got no mouth, you know, it don't say that. But it just says that women should be silent, you know what I'm saying? And so he was asking me, what do I think about that verse? And I knew for me, and this could sure not be what his intent was, but for me, I thought he was saying men tell women what to do, or women just hush, men do everything. But I told him, I said, well, I can't tell you right now. I have to get a little more context about that one verse because I don't read the Bible like that. I don't just read one verse and then what that say, I take it as face value. That's not how you read the Bible. And so I took that, that one verse had me all in other verses. You know what I'm saying? That's how you study the Bible.
Absolutely.
That's how you study it. And so I want you guys to elaborate, even if you have not heard that Bible verse. What is your thoughts on some men thinking that they're superior over women, or their dominance gives them that respect over women, or that they do all the talking, they do all the directing, they do all the things, and you just supposed to be quiet?
I feel like when they hear the word leader, that's what they think about, but that's a misdefinition of that. A leader actually takes advice from the people that's under him. That's what keeps him strong.
That's good.
But people don't think like that. They hear leader and they automatically say, oh,
I'm in charge.
Thank you.
Yeah, dictator.
It's not that. Like, even with me, I'm a CEO, but I have people that work under me. I listen to them every day to help me with my business. I wouldn't be successful if I was just like, no, y'all work for me. I got this. We need help from somewhere. So I don't feel like, of course, we know that's not what they meant in the Bible. We're supposed to be quiet.
That's what we're going to, yeah.
But I feel like my interpretation of that is, I have said what I've had to say to you, and now you can interpret to everyone else, and I'm going to sit here and let you do that. That's what I get from that. It doesn't mean that my voice doesn't matter because I voiced my opinion to you. Now you have to relay it to the world.
So, go ahead, Ms. Ty.
I feel like that when it comes to that, what's the term I'm looking for? I think that a lot of people in church weaponize scripture just as the colonizers weaponized scripture. And whether that was intentional or not, I don't know. But I just feel that, you pick it, you cherry pick. So, you're pouring out a scripture that says, like, women are supposed to submit, women are supposed to be quiet, but, or women submit to your husbands. But you don't ever think about the scriptures where it tells men to submit to your wives as Christ submitted to the church. Love your wives as Christ loved the church. He didn't dictate the church. He cared about the church. If it was a problem, he wanted to help fix it. Like, that was his whole life story, is to save us, so to sacrifice for us. So the fact that a lot of people will just take that and, like, try to make women submissive, like, I feel that you didn't read it in its entirety. You just picked out one and said, oh, I can use that, and took it and ran with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Mr. Carr, you got something on that? Because I want to actually, because I did study, but I wanted you to go with what you.
For me, I think that most men that pull that from that scripture think, to me, like, they don't want to see women preaching. That, that's what I've heard it. Parallel with was when they don't want to hear women preaching. And to be honest, I've learned that the first minister wasn't a male, it was a woman.
Now what that's at now?
I was just
Now,
about
what
to
is
say,
it?
I want to hear that one.
I didn't read it, but
Okay, that's what you've heard.
that's what I've been told. That
Okay.
the first person to, minister wasn't a man, it was a woman. So I don't know, I just feel like people can, like she said, take something and make it for them. That's common with reading the Bible. Everybody's gonna pick that one thing out of the Bible, like you said, and that's not what it's designed to be. To read one scripture and say, hey, this is this and this is what it means. But when most people read the Bible or study the Bible, that's what they do. They don't dig deep. They don't go into correspondence. They don't do any of that. They just pick that one thing, and this is what we're doing, and this is what it is. And so, I mean, it's easy for a man to say a woman should be quiet. I can say a lot about what a man should do.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's true.
Right.
That it holds true. So that's just my take on that.
No, that's good. Because I know that you said that even you also know that the context around that scripture, and so I want you to elaborate a little bit on what you know for that scripture to mean as well, as much as you can.
After she spoke, that did ring something in my head, because my mother, I'm not gonna say was, she is a pastor. And growing up in that household, I have heard conversations of her having to go places and getting turned down because of men saying she could not sit in the pulpit. But I'm gonna be completely honest, I've seen my mother cast out demons that have been sitting in the church for 10, 15 years. And they have not been able to do anything until she stepped foot in there. So, I mean, what are we really talking about with ministry?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah. For one, we are already inclined to, we zone in on stuff that they may miss. Okay, we pay attention to a lot of things. So, again, read the word. Don't just use it for your benefit, because with my mom being a pastor, and I'm a PK, she used to always push scriptures on me as a child. And then when I got older, she was pushing scriptures and I was throwing them right back. I was like, yeah, but then such and such says this. Okay, what? Like right now, she's going through a lot. My mom's been sick, and she's, oh, the Lord's going to heal me. And I said, but faith without work is dead. So what are you giving him to work with? He gave us what we need on this earth to help us. The doctors are telling you what you need to do, and you're steady saying, I'm going to pray about it. Okay, pray while you take your medicine. Okay, you got to give him something to work with. So I get what you're saying, because I see it all the time. Like, And I told my homegirl when I came on here, I said, because I know my cousin said something about a Proverbs 31 woman, and I said, I don't think these girls are reading the scripture in its entirety because
getting there. You
I
all
kept,
good.
I'm sorry,
No,
I
you
kept
good.
hearing it.
You good.
And so I went and I got a Bible myself. But see, I'm big on science and like history, so I got a Bible with the maps in it. I'm trying to see where it was going.
Yes.
So I said, let me just read it. And I'm reading. I said, oh, look, no, wait a minute. It said she did what? And so when people post it, I'm like, y'all not doing this. This is not who y'all are.
That's good.
I said it gave a description of who she was, but then it said what she did. She went back to her people and helped them. Y'all level up. We don't see y'all.
We don't see y'all no more. That's good.
Thank you.
So are y'all Proverbs or y'all just Proverbs 31 and 2?
That's good. Ooh.
Not the whole scripture.
That's
Ooh.
it. They pick out.
So you can't say you're saying it because you saw this guy on TikTok drop the song and everybody, I'm a Proverbs 31 woman.
Yeah.
But what business have you established? What have you done in the community? Do you help the kids in the community? What have you given back to the community? They have drives and stuff. You're nowhere to be seen, but you're displaying this. But when somebody sit down and talk to you, you're not a Proverbs 31 woman
That's so good.
at all, actually. So
That's
Yeah.
really listen.
Yeah.
You done ate that right over there. You ate that
No
right over
problems.
because even too, when I do think of that verse, I think of like not the Proverbs because I'm really gonna get to that in literally next, but the First Timothy verse. When I did my study, I think men don't necessarily understand the power that they have. I don't think they understand everything is done in decency and in order.
it is.
And so y'all really are the head, dude. You want all of this, these rights and disrespect and all things. Well, do what you're supposed to do. And so when it comes to that verse, is the man soak up everything that you're supposed to soak up. When Paul was talking in First Timothy, because that's who's talking, is Paul, and Paul is like, look, Timothy. It's a whole lot of going on. This is some false prophecy going on. These people are not teaching this word, but I don't need you to be like them because Timothy was a young minister. And so Paul being that man and he even called him like, you like my little son. You like my little spiritual son. So he was being that man to pour into that other man. And he was giving him, okay, this is how this is supposed to be. He's giving him the groundwork, the footwork of how you supposed to run ministry. And so how can Timothy just say, all right, Bree, go preach? Well, I don't know what to do. You ain't taught me nothing. You as men, you supposed to be the ones who lay down the foundation. Y'all don't even understand that if y'all show up right, we might even show up right. If you treat me good, I'm going to treat you better. What they say, you bring me a house, I'm going to make it a home. You bring me some grocery, I'm going to make you a meal. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's for me, that's what I love men, and I love all men, but I love black men real bad down to the ground. You know what I'm saying? But I love men because I do, even for that reason, I don't want any man to feel like because you're a man that you can't express yourself or that you less than because you do or whatever the case is, because you matter, just like women matter, that we all matter. And so even in that verse, it's kind of like, boom, God told you to be this type of man, be that type of man. And then your woman, for the most part, she won't have to say much because said a great thing. She gonna, hey, babe, you know you could have did. Look for this next time, because we're so wise.
That's right.
We're so wise. Go ahead.
Our senses are different.
Yes.
We're always covering the whole person. You know, we're not just looking at one thing. We're looking at the back of them, the front of them. We watching. And that's our job, you know, to be watchful.
Yes.
And to be prayerful. And to pour into that person.
I just got chills because you just said something because people always talk about why we don't stand in front of the men. I can't see nothing from that front. I need to get behind him so I can be like, hey, babe, don't go
If
over
I got
there.
to stand in
Don't
front,
go that way.
it's not for me.
No.
That's so good. And that's why I'm just like, y'all, I don't understand where this whole shift happened, where it's like women. Well, I will switch that, and I ain't going that because I'm gonna go right here first. So I did on my notes. I have to read 1 Timothy 2:9, and this is about how women should carry themselves. Because I think we're coming from these unhealed places, and we're trying to maneuver in life without having the blueprint of what it even looked like to be a successful or what's the word in the Bible that they call women? It starts with a V. Virtuous women. You know what I'm saying? Even like Cuz says, like, you think you a Proverbs 31 woman, it ain't giving that. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes you only know what you know. You only know what you know. And honestly, in this generation, I don't feel like there's that many excuses that we can have. We got all these podcasts. We got ChatGPT. We have all of these resources. And if you want to be a good woman, then you can find out a way to be a good woman.
Absolutely.
What you got?
I think that speaking about this generation, because I think I have daughters, that are older. A lot of that falls on how much time is spent one-on-one with your children.
Absolutely.
I was the neighborhood mama.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody could come to my house, but you better know if you come, bring your church clothes because we going to church.
Hello.
I
Big on that one.
didn't just, feed them. I didn't just let them spend the night. It's what you're putting into your children.
Absolutely.
And in some instances, I think with this generation, because that would be my age that was raising this generation, some of them ain't have the time. They was in the streets. I'm being they are still in the streets. I read a post the other day where somebody said they was in the club with their daughter. And I'm thinking, I don't think I ever did that. I don't think I ever was that type of mother where I wanted to be in places that my children were, because you grow out of things. And you got to be able to grow out of their space and let them have their space. I just never wanted to be an embarrassment to my children. So I tried to pour into even kids that weren't mine, about church and the word, put the word in them. Even when I wasn't all the way right, I still knew the word, and I still tried to put the word in them. And some of those very same kids today reach out to me for prayer. Even, even if you took the minister away before I became a minister, they would still text me or message me, hey, Mom, this is so-and-so, can you pray for me? Sure. Yeah. I don't have a problem doing it. But kids, this generation, it lacks. It lacks. And it lacks because people don't make their children do anything anymore. They give them too many choices. That's true. And my kids didn't have a choice.
Right.
You can do the sports, you can do all the things, but you're going to church.
You're going to go to church.
You're going to not just attend church, you're going to be a part of something at the church. And you don't see that now. Even when we in the youth ministries are struggling because they give them options. They come to church and leave the kids at home.
Absolutely.
So
That's so true.
Yeah, that's the generation that
I know, like with having kids at my house, and 90% of them are teen girls, and and you just occasionally I may just spark a conversation like a Bible story, and I be so blown away. Like, how y'all don't know about Jonah and the Whale, and y'all in 9th and 10th grade? Aww. How y'all, and I'm just like, I knew that story before I could read, so then I just go back and I think, because anytime I see a problem, my brain just automatically, let's see how we can fix it. Let's see what caused it. Let's see how we can fix it. And then, it's just like looking at the parents, and most of the parents, they came from households who, like you said, you didn't have a choice but to go to church. You were going to do everything else, but you was going to go to church. So then whenever those parents got older, a lot of them put that church down. So you have kids that no longer had a third space to learn valuable life lessons. And I mean, it's past church, but it involves church, because when you went to church as a kid, you knew that I can't carry myself in church like I can at home. So now you have kids that no longer have that third space, and then it spills over to the classroom. I see it all the time. Some of those same kids don't know how to behave in the classroom. They don't know how to behave at home, because they get to run wild at home. You get to, you're home. So then, like we were growing up, we were always told you can't show your tail at home, but when you go out, you better act right. Because if you don't, you already know the rest. So, but kids these days, they don't have that. So they don't have that experience to know that, hey, when I go to church, I got to turn this switch on. I got to be on my best behavior. Even if my mom is not here, I know somebody going to let her know how I'll behave when I get home. And kids don't have that. Yeah. Like, it's amazing, like, how many times you have, just in regular kids that attend church, that you have to constantly tell them, shh, be quiet during prayer. Shh, they're doing communion. Like, like, it's just things that they don't know. And I feel that spills over into how kids are raised, and even into relationships, because you have really no sense of direction. So you don't know what you want. So
You
you'll
have no
just pretty
structure.
much, you'll just pretty much go for anything because that's what the world is pushing onto you. You have no foundation to tell you that that may be what they saying, but that's not what I was taught. That's not what the Bible says. So I feel like that's what a lot of the gender wars they come in at because you have no foundation, biblical foundation at that. Because the Bible tells us like when He created Adam, hey, you had a job before you got that woman. You had a job to do, Adam. You were to cultivate and take care of this garden before I gave you this woman. And as the woman, you didn't just come just to be created. You had a job. And I think that, just as a culture, we got away from that.
That's good. That's so good. What you got, cuz?
She went back to Adam. Have y'all seen the post? And y'all, I know y'all laughing because somebody said, "How are we supposed to trust y'all when God told them not to eat the apple, but who gave him the apple?"
It will eat now. It will eat. But go ahead.
That's why I said they be trying to use biblical stuff to go back and say this is why we act like this, and I'm like.
That's a whole nother story right there.
Okay.
But they use it. They
is.
say he couldn't trust her back then. He got in trouble back then. So how we supposed to?
But in that same breath, you can also say God is the one who spoke to Adam. Adam is the head.
told Adam.
If he was doing his job, hey, baby, don't eat them. Hey,
Thank
get
you.
over here.
Thank you.
Forget what he got going on.
Thank you.
Get over him.
Thank you.
So,
It go back to 1 Timothy, don't it?
That's right.
But see, y'all wanted to use that.
You watching.
You want to use that. But then you go back and say, but he listened to her. But then he tell y'all that you was supposed to say something. So okay.
So, that's what I'm saying. I think that if we all look back at self and not say, well, this just who I am, all the things, I ain't changing. Like, that's kind of where it stems from, too. We have so much pride, this ego, and all the things. And it's like, I think that's ultimately where it comes from. I think if we all look within ourselves, I am going to read 1 Timothy, and then we're going to shift a little bit. Because what time we at? Hour? Okay. And we can go on and on and on. Oh, my gosh. We can go on and on, y'all. But 1 Timothy 2:9 says, I also want, and I want to ask y'all about this now, but this is what it say. 1 Timothy 2:9, it says, this is the NIV version. I also want the women to dress modestly with decency and propriety, adorning themselves not with elaborate hairstyles or gold or pearls or expensive clothes. Now, the reason why I wanted to read that is because to kind of go back to what Cuz said about a Proverbs woman, and we don't have to stay on this too long, but I want y'all to kind of hear where I'm going with this. As a woman, we are to carry ourselves in a particular way. And based upon how we carry ourselves, we are drawing things as well, drawing people as well, drawing spirits as well, right? And so I want y'all to elaborate a little bit on what it means to be modest, because I ain't wearing no skirt, and I ain't finna wear no skirt I ain't finna dress like no Muslim, and no offense, I don't know if that's offensive, but disclaimer. Or I ain't finna wear no stuff around where you gonna see my eyes, all the things. And then where it says to adorn yourself. How are women even supposed to show up? How are women even supposed to show up?
For me, I'm gonna say when I first started my journey with Christ, I was fresh out. I was fresh out the streets. I ain't had no church clothes. Everything I had was above the knee, and heels was at least 5 inches. So that's all I had.
Yeah.
So that's all I wore. And I will say, when I went to church at first, it didn't bother me. But the more I went and the more I grew in Christ, I became uncomfortable in those clothes, wearing those heels or, like dressing a certain way. So I began to tone it down. And I will say the experience it was a lighter experience for me, because I was just always in my head, like if I wore something, I'm like, oh man, is this covering so much, or like, do I need to get something to put over my legs or something? I would always be having these thoughts. But the more modest I became, the more calm I became. And then the more modest I became, the more the children at the church latched onto me as well. And then, they were always, like, oh, Miss Ty, I remember when you used to wear these heels and, and XYZ. And, when they open that door, that gives me an invitation. But like, yeah, yeah, they were cute. But this is also what came behind that. This is what came behind that lifestyle, behind that type of thinking. And this is where we are now. And yes, you may have fun. You may look good, but your mind is not going to be at ease. When your spirit knows it's not right, you're not going to be at ease.
That's good. For y'all to think on what y'all want to say, the reason why I asked this is because the gender war is extended behind how women dress. Because a man might say, "Oh, my woman ain't wearing that," and so the woman bickers back and forth with, "I'm grown, I can wear what I want to wear," or whatever the case is. And so that's why I'm bringing up this question. How are we even supposed to be showing up as women? That can be a conversation we ain't bit more got to argue about. What y'all think?
What's going on, everybody? It's the one known as Strong Jones.
And Precious.
I'm Marlisha. I'm one of the CEOs of J2 Streaming. We offer streaming through a Fire Stick and internet. All you need to do is just basically plug your Fire Stick up to your TV and just have decent internet. Our live channels offer over like 8,000 channels. We also offer the newest movies, the series, and the lowest monthly fee is only $20 a month, and that covers you. No contract, you pay as you want to. You can reach us at 478-347-1314. We also have a Facebook group, ATC21 by J2, or you can visit the website at www.atc21.com.
I think that, like she said, because none of us, if we're real, when we walk into the doors of the church or dress the part that the people of the church want to make you feel like. I'm glad that where I am a member of, that's never been a big issue. You come to church, you come. And we don't look at that. To me, that's the outside. Why you so stressed on what a person got on? For that purpose, because like you said, as you grow in Christ, you're gonna change anyway. As far as it creating wars genderly, I think that I've always been a person that even when I was in the club, in the streets, I didn't care about wearing certain things. I always wanted to be the classy woman. That was just my mindset. I always wanted to dress a certain way. So when I went out, I didn't wear short shorts or, real revealing clothes. And I noticed that most of the time, the men are going to be more attracted to the woman that's got more on than less. And that's because you giving them something to unveil, so to speak. They got to figure out what that look like. They don't know what it look like. When you put it on display, then of course they gonna know. Everybody knows what it look like. But you just gotta leave something. My grandma always told us to leave something to the imagination. Leave something to the imagination. You can't put it all out there. Even when you go into the stores and you buy things off the shelf, you don't know what you get until you open that can or that bag. You can see part of it, little glimpse and pieces of it, but you don't see the whole thing until it's at the end. So you got to be mindful of that. And I think that if you kept that in the forefront of your mind, then it'll change something.
That's so good. That's good. I really wanted to ask that again, just because I think that's one word that I've also seen on social media that I also don't think women take that seriously. I think they think it's just clothes, or I look good, so I should be able to wear whatever I want to wear. But if you're at least wanting to be a wife one day, or we thinking of the Proverbs 31 woman in its entirety, I think that you should kind of consider that. You should consider that as a woman. I want to, because we really don't have time. Oh gosh, we can go so, and I have so much that I would like to talk about, y'all. But I told y'all when we was getting prepared, I said I got to tell y'all something that happened to me, and I'm gonna ask y'all this, or tell y'all this, and then I'm gonna ask y'all one more question, and then we're gonna get out of here. Okay. So at work the other day, and I brought up this conversation because there was another conversation going on, and I brought up this conversation about just dating too long, just going through the motions, and like, what is your intention? Like, what are you doing? Just all the things. It was a longer conversation, but long story short, this guy says that men tell you when you're a wife, because I stated I'm a wife. Like, I'm already a wife. Those were my words. And he said that, are you married? And I said, no. He said, well, you're not a wife. I said, what you mean? He said, a man tells you when you're a wife. And I said, well, no, I'm already a wife. I just don't have the husband. Like, I don't have the husband, but I'm already a wife. He said that, well, if he never tells you that you're a wife, if he never mentions whatever about you being his wife, then you're not a wife. I said, okay, so what if you never tell me that I'm your wife, or you never mention anything wifely to me? I said, but then I have this person over here who swipe up on everything and say, I wanna wife you, or you just, I know you're gonna be somebody phenomenal wife, or you like, I just want all the things. I said, that mean you just ain't my husband, or, because I'm trying to figure out if we, and this is what I want y'all to answer. Do we as women, or do men give us the
verification?
Do they verify that we're women, or are we women are we, what did I say?
Wives.
Do men verify that we're wives, or are we wives before we become wives? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I can't speak on everyone, but I will speak for myself in the way that, like, my mentality. I was a wife before I became his wife. He just made me his wife, just because of the way that I carried myself. Even, in relationships prior to him, like you said, I was the girlfriend, but I was the wife. So then whenever I took a break, and when I say I took a break, y'all, I ain't want to talk to nobody. Even him, he waited like 6 months in the hole before I even, like, because I just felt like, hey, if I'm doing the things that I feel like I'm supposed to be doing is something not right, then I need to go back to square one and figure out what it is. And God had to change my mindset, and in that I think it was like year 7, 8 months. Like, that's where he transformed my mind. And it was like, yes, I was performing the duties of a wife that I saw, but my mentality was nowhere wifely. My mentality was, hey, if you come at me, I'm coming at you harder. If you go low, I'm going to hell. That was my mentality, but that wasn't wife-like. So to me, he transformed my mind in my single by myself era with him before I actually became his wife.
That's good. That's good. What y'all got?
I already told you my mindset is I'm wife material.
Yes.
And that was one because I watched my mom do it alone, and I didn't want that journey, even though that did become my story raising my children. But no, I don't think that the man he might define who his wife is, his mate, but no, absolutely not. And because that's something that's within you. Those are your qualities. That's what you bring to the table, and that's who you are. If that's what you say you are. So no person can define who you are. If that's what you believe you are, then that's what you are.
So as a man thinking, so is he.
That's right. Absolutely.
What you got? What you got, cousin?
I mean, what I might consider a wife may not be what you consider somebody else. So, like you said, whatever he thinks, if you want your wife to be half naked, that's your wife, right?
That's true.
But it doesn't define it. Like, that's just cut and dry.
Yeah.
No, you're not gonna tell me.
Absolutely. Okay, so my last question, y'all, is, we done talked about the different aspects of 50-50 and the gender war, and I don't want it to seem like, because I don't think we didn't bash anybody or anything like that. We just told our truth, the whole truth, you know what I'm saying? And so now my last question is, how can us as women, how can we hold ourselves accountable? Let me ask that again. How can we as women, how can we hold ourselves accountable in moving forward without competing against men to actually understand and support them better in relationships and in society? I know that's a long question, but
say it one more time.
Okay. So how can we as women?
Hard to hear.
So how can we as women hold ourselves accountable? Like, what can we do as women to move forward, to stop this whole bicker back and forth, this battle, and start to understand our men better so that we can have better supporting relationships in society or moving forward?
I think that one, we can't expect to have better men if we're always the person to tear them down.
Okay.
We got to change our mindset. Everything isn't or shouldn't be a competition all the time. Understanding where you are and understanding where he is we're two different people. What we each bring to the table is what matters most. You know, learn your individual self, be comfortable with who you are, be secure in who you are, and don't look to because most of the time when you're doing that, again, I feel like it's trauma, and sometimes it can be insecurities that he feels within himself or that you have within yourself that won't allow you to mesh. So you have to learn my insecurities are what I have, and I need to work on that.
Yeah.
Vice versa, same with him. He has to learn what his insecurities are and work on that. And then you probably won't have as much, as the arguing and bickering and back and forth as you have now. It's all in learning who you are. You have to be confident in who you are and stand on your truth.
That's good.
Absolutely.
That's good. I would say I think sometimes we want them to, like I said earlier, I think we want them to be something so bad that we can kind of demand it too. I think, we hear too from these men that women are so angry or we so like we loud and we talk at them and just all the things, and we've lost our femininity. I know in my healing journey, because I was real like tomboyish, and all of my cousins are boys and all they homeboy, you know what I'm saying? So I was that girl, I was the brother's little sister and all the things. So like I knew how to talk at dudes, you know what I'm saying? And so in my healing journey, I was so ready to like be soft and like walk in my femininity, like in all aspects. And so I'm like, cause I don't do all that yelling. Like I would look at you while you doing all and ask you like, why are you doing that? Like why, So I don't think that's necessary. All that loud talking and stuff, with that screaming, that cussing them out, all that is really not necessary, and it's not ladylike. You know what I'm saying? And so I think what we should do is, if we see that or want our man to be a better man, we got to love them into change. The Bible says, through love and kindness have I drawn thee. And so you don't have to tell them, you don't have to try to beat them down and make them fall to their knees in order for them. Baby, the softest women have so much more control over men than you think. Than you trying to yell at them and like give them ultimatums and all this stuff. You don't have to do all of that. You just love them enough, and that soft, nurturing spirit that we naturally have will already draw them to do whatever you want them to do. You ain't got to snap no finger. You know what I'm saying? And I think we should just get back to our feminine selves. Absolutely. Let the man love you. Let the man pay the bills. If that's let him be a man, and you nurture that manly spirit within him, and stop trying to take his role. Right. And maybe once we get comfortable and confident in our role, they'll find comfort in theirs. That's what I feel. We all have those roles to play, and so play yours well. Play yours well, and let him see you playing it so well that he get himself together. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel.
That's right.
Absolutely.
What y'all got?
I feel that as a woman, I feel healing is first for me, because you can't really be that soft and feminine person that you want to be or that you're made to be when you're holding on to all the trauma. Yes. Because it's gonna keep you, it's gonna block you from being that. And for me, in the early years with my husband, who was then my boyfriend, like I was a misfix-it. Like Boat said, I'm gonna ask you one time. And after that, don't worry about it.
Get the wash
I got it, And so, and therapy had to help me, because I was just so used to having to be the Mrs. Fix-It as a kid, and through all my whole adult life, like that's who I was, and to finally have somebody to come in and just say, "Go sit down." I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it, and it was almost like we're struggling for who gonna wear the pants here. You know, that's kind of what it felt like. So I had to heal that part of me, so it would give him the space to actually say, "Hey, no, I got it," and me the space to say, "You know what? Okay, I'm okay with letting you have it." And then the other thing that helped me was like praying for discernment, like because it's like I could help everybody else, but then when it came to my husband, and I know that he has issues that he has to work through himself, and so whenever he's responding to me in a certain way that I may not like, instead of me snapping, I'm like, yeah, that's that trauma that's speaking to me. So that's what we have to address. So, you know, like by me going through healing and praying for discernment, it helped me like not push him, but encourage him. Hey, you may need to go and talk to somebody. I don't care if it's me, a pastor, or a therapist. I prefer you to go through a therapist because I might tell you something wrong. So, you know, but just like that helped because after all of that, it wasn't like that power struggle. You know, it became more peaceful. Like he was able to come in and like naturally be the provider and the man that he was. Like he is so chivalrous, but what you open my door for? I got it.
Oh.
I could open my own door.
Yeah.
But that's just naturally who he was. Like, what you taking my trash out for? I could do it.
Oh.
You know, and so you know, by me healing me, it gave him room to heal himself.
Let me tell you something. I can't wait to get to him so he can take that trash out. I'm so sick of that trash. I'm sorry, cuz.
I want to piggyback off of what you were just saying because I was just sitting here thinking about a past relationship I just recently got out of. Everything that you said, he was doing it. I'm talking about my car was smoking. I was on the way. I thought it was smoke. It was evaporation, but I told him it was smoke. That man changed my oil in the rain.
Mercy, Lord.
Got to the house. He was cooking. He was cleaning. Mind you, he didn't stay with me. He had his own house. He was cooking. He was cleaning, making sure he was straight. Everything was fine. Okay. But when it came down to talking about situations, we couldn't do that. Okay. And so I literally had to pray, and I'm like, God, am I supposed to be the one to be Mrs. Fix It? See, I have a very healing spirit. Okay. I have the spirit. That don't mean keep coming to me. Okay. And I've done that in past relationships. I've built the man and shipped him out. And then I'm left trying to pour back into myself. And I'm watching him live with somebody else with the traits that I helped him with. And now she's getting the man. And so when you were saying, I was like, everybody's like, yes, I want my man to do this, I want my man to do that. Cool. Internally, is it together? That's another problem. Because any man, they can go out, they can build, it don't take 2 seconds to take trash out.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's true.
But when you've never had that, you latch on to that.
That's
and
true.
see, I'm reversed. Like you said, Mrs. Fitz, my daddy made sure I knew how to do everything. So when a guy comes in and he wants to do something, I'm like, no, I got it. And he like, I don't think you should change the tire, babe. I can do it. And I'm like, no, I got it. But when I did get in my soft girl era, that happened. And now I'm like, okay, now. Lord, you let me be soft now. You let the man play me now. What do I do? But it's like, no, I wanted you to experience that. Okay. He may not have been all around what you needed, but you experienced being soft. So know how you know how it feels to be soft. So stay there.
Yeah.
Sit there for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring you somebody else, but sit there for a minute because I've had a guy tell me like, I was like, tell him because just like Precious, I'm the only female on my dad's side of the family. I have all boy cousins. So when I approach guys, like I'm not that, like if it's us and we're sitting out somewhere and there's guys, you know how girls go, oh my God, he looks so good. You talking about he looks so good, I've been walked over there.
Yeah.
But that's just in me. And I'm not like, hey, I'm Bree. I might walk up say something crazy like, you gonna eat all that? Just a conversation started, that's just me. But I can do that when we're in that realm, but it's like when we get home and it's like, baby, this is that and the third. And I'm like, so how's your day? It was good. That's good. My day was good. But now I'm in my soft girl era, but it's really hard because I need a man. Like, I'm not you're not finna play with me.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to be acclimated in the world, and to know both sides of like, I can take you to the suburbs and we good. But we can also go to the hood and be straight too.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm acclimated spiritually too. So you really not finna play with me.
Yeah.
Because everything I do, I pray about it. No, you don't see me in church every single Sunday. You don't. Sorry. But spiritually, that's how I grew up. It has to be in me. So it sits in me. And I tell guys when I meet them, I don't care what you're doing. I'm going to find out. I don't have to go through your phone. I don't have to do nothing. You'll tell on yourself. And again, I don't yell. When we broke up, I literally woke up. I'm going to tell you what happened. My anxiety was so bad because this man was in my house. I'm switching rooms. I'm like, let me go to the living room and try to lay down. This ain't working. Lord, I can't breathe. And I finally said, Lord, I laid on my back on my sofa. I said, Lord, give me the strength to let this man go and give my son the peace when he do go to know he's not coming back. And that next morning I got up and I told him, I said, I'm finna leave. I said, and you gotta go too. And he was like, why I gotta go? I said, you can't stay here. I said, you're offsetting the spirit in my house. You can't. I have a peaceful home. When I start getting agitated because I see you, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he did, and because I am spiritual, he tried to use that against me. Oh, the Lord is working on me, and oh, this, that, and the third, and oh, I'm seeing demons. I said, well, I saw them too, because every time you stood up against me, I looked you in your eyes. I said, for one, I'm not fearful of none of that. I grew up around that. I was the person that took the kids out of church when spirits was being cast out, so I'm not scared of that. And I said, you have demons that people say I'm fighting demons. Like, no, you're fighting demons. I see them. I can hear them when they switch. I know who I'm talking to. I said, we will never work until you address that situation, because you're not going to sit peacefully around me. I'm going to irritate that demon all day.
Yes. That's
And
so
I
good.
feel like that's something else that's going on. People are fighting trauma and literally battling demons, and we're unequally yoked. And that's literally what caused us. That's what caused us to break up. Because I text him, I said, we went to church. I said, this lady didn't even know you. And she told me when I left, she said, you need to detach from that. And I didn't think nothing about it. So we got into it 2 weeks later. And I told him, I said, we're unequally yoked. I said, I got to try the spirit by the spirit. That man texted me back and said, you ain't trying nothing. I blocked him.
Oh.
But I knew that wasn't him talking to me.
Absolutely.
That was one of those three
Yeah.
that was in there. And so now he's still dealing with it, but his family is like, we can't let you go because we knew like something happened and he passed out. I told him, I said, you need to play Yahweh. I said, turn on Yahweh. I said, keep playing it until you learn the words. He texted me back. Actually, his dad called me and said they found him passed out on the floor because he had started working on himself.
Wow.
And he was casting his own demons out. And they said
Jesus.
when he woke up, he just kept saying, he was saying Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And he said his auntie was like, who is Bree? And I said, what happened? He said he woke up and he kept saying, call Bree. Somebody go get Bree. Somebody go get Bree. And I told him, I said, with everything in me, I care about you. I said, but I can't come to your rescue. Okay? You got to get yourself together. Yeah. That's just that. You got to get yourself together. And so I'm still in my soft girl era, but that relationship taught me that I know how to be soft, but I also know how to show up for my man, but I also know how to stand behind him and how to pray with him. But if he's not working with me, I got to, you got that. Now, Lord, if you bring him back to me, cool. But I become comfortable with letting men go and saying, when it's our time, if you're brought back, we'll be good. But as far as like breaking up and crying and throwing stuff in, no, I break. Everybody's like, you just let people go so easy, because everybody has a season and a time and a reason in my life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not mad at you. If we talk today and don't talk for 2 years, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You might have something going on, but that's something else. As soon as we feel like, oh, this ain't working, oh, I just can't talk to him. You didn't even figure out what the problem was. But it's not always their fault. It's not always our fault. They could be dealing with something that they need to deal with by themselves. Yeah. We were not put here to fix them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We can help them along the way, but you can't turn somebody into something. They may portray that person, but when they leave you, there's somebody else. So
Just performing. Just performing.
put on the act. You can rehearse.
Yeah.
If you say, I want you to take my trash out, I want you. That's why they say when you meet people, when they say, what are you looking for?
Don't tell them.
Don't tell them.
Don't tell them.
Because they're going to mimic exactly. Now
Yep.
you like, he taking my trash out. He got me something to eat and everything. Whole time it's 3-4 more. that was something else. It was
They ain't
3.
taking trash out for.
And you don't find out till later, and you looking like, why ain't nobody say nothing? I'm like, Lord, now you show me everything else. You didn't show me about the 2 girls in Florida and the ones out here.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
But it was me learning myself, like, I can be her, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Yes, he may have done wrong, but she's inside. But I wasn't raised as a soft girl.
Yeah.
So, because people always like to say, oh, it's about how you was raised. This is just who I am. I don't accept that.
Right.
The trauma, everybody has it. But at some point, and I've seen it on Facebook, that's a battle too with people saying, y'all got to quit using the stuff that y'all went through
Yes.
to reflect as who you are now.
Yes.
Because that happened then. You need to deal with it. Everybody got a sob story. I got a sob story too. That's why I tell a lot of people I come in contact with, oh, I got this going on, I got that. 2 years before I opened my business, I got evicted from my house that January. Okay, like eviction, sheriff was there. I had to be brought back home. I had to make up in my mind, you got a child. You're in your 20s. You got 2 grown parents and you're an adult. It's not up to them to make sure you're okay. And I opened my business. So when people come to me and they're like, I can't figure this out. I can't figure. Are you trying?
Right.
But again, our generation wants everything. Here you go. And I see that now, even with me teaching, I'm like, I give y'all everything, and y'all still, well, I can't find. You Google everything else. Use the internet. If something happened in Vidalia right now, and somebody in New York want to know, they gonna Google it and pull it up. But when you have something positive, I didn't hear about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
How you not hear about it?
Yep. That's so
You
true.
look up everything else. I said, like, what y'all got going on? Y'all might have a lot of people tune in, but if something break out in here and we get to fighting,
Oh, that's gonna be the highest.
oh, it's 35.K views.
What? That's true. That's so true. Cause I talked about that just. I spoke Wednesday at First Baptist. I said the same thing. That's literally how it is. Everything negative we hear about it. I won't even be surprised if everybody that we think will attach to the positive things. Like you think, no. You get 2 likes on this, 3 likes on that, 20 likes on that. But as soon as somebody fight, hey, send me the video, I'm about to DM you. So that's a real thing.
But I said that because we're talking about what we need to do. That stuff is being pushed because it's notarized.
Absolutely.
It's not because what we actually want. It's because if me and him get on here and argue right now, they gonna tap in.
Yeah.
And now Facebook is paying you to start mess. So
that's true.
Why would we divert from that and try to do something positive? That's just life in general. Anything positive is not going to get as much attention as something negative. Why? I don't know. So we have to do behind the scenes work. And that's why a lot of men say they don't like telling people that they're in a relationship. They don't like posting their significant other. And they're trying to hide us. No. Some of them. But it keeps people out your business because the minute that you post something, I see couples go back and forth on Facebook all day. And I'm like, you done cussed him out. You done cussed her out. Now y'all back together and everybody like, here we go. For what?
That's good. But you know why, because we have an opposer. We have an enemy who don't want to see us thrive, who don't want to see us get to the promise that God has for us. And so he throws out these negative things. And so if we latch on to the negative things, we forget about the great things that God wants for us, the more abundance that God says that he has for us. And so that's what it is. We not fighting against each other. You know what I'm saying? This war ain't never between us. No. This is spiritual warfare that's happening. And we're not acclimated enough spiritually to tap in and say, you know what, enemy, you're not about to win. I am going to be a wife. I am going to be a husband. I am going to be a great father. I am going to be a great mother. That's what it is. This is spiritual warfare. And see, we're not, we so worried about crystals and we so worried about these evil eyes and we so worried about the stuff that's not of the Lord. And the enemy is sucking us right on in to a deeper hole that we're drawing ourselves into effortlessly. We have no knowledge of this spiritual realm. We think everything is this.
Right.
We think everything is this. You know what I'm saying? It's so much deeper than that. And see, when spiritual people or people, followers and believers of Christ, when we get to speaking, oh, you doing too much. Oh, it ain't never that serious. It is that serious.
Really is.
Aren't you not looking at the same things that I'm looking at? Are you not hearing the same things that I'm hearing? Because it's deeper than the surface. If we can tap in spiritually, if we can tap in to Christ we'll start these veils will begin to be removed from our eyes, and we will begin to see light. Right now we see so much darkness. God is trying to give us light, y'all. Give us knowledge and wisdom. We don't have to live in bondage. We don't have to live bottom of the barrel. God says we're head and not tail. He said we're above and not beneath. Stop living down there.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. We're fighting in the spirit, but some of us don't know how to fight. That's why we argue. We cussing people out. That's why we yelling at people. That's why we doing those things, because we don't even know that we in a fight, that we can't fight because we not grounded spiritually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get into your word for real.
Right.
Y'all want to say have a relationship with the Lord. I don't know if I got a relationship with my sister. There's just some things I don't want to do because I don't want to make her mad. I don't want, and even in a sense, I might even have to tell her something that make her mad, and she just gonna have to be all right. And then tomorrow she gonna come ask me for forgiveness, and we gonna hug and laugh about it, and that's the thing. So we got to get a relationship for real with the Lord, and through having that relationship, we'll know you by your fruit. You said that earlier.
Absolutely.
We'll
Yes,
know you by
sir.
your fruit. You can't just keep saying, well, I got a relationship with the Lord and I pray every day and all the things. Well, why ain't nothing changed yet?
Right.
Why ain't nothing fell off you yet?
Right.
We'll know. You ain't got to keep telling us that. We will know. Okay? So that goes for women. Cause we talking about women for right now, but somebody, one of y'all, we got to talk to these men now. But were you done, cousin? I don't want to cut you off.
You good?
You sure? Does anyone else have anything to say? This was so good.
It was really good.
Wow, this was so good. But that's all I have. I mean, it ain't, but we do have to end. But I do appreciate each and every one of you ladies. Y'all were great. Y'all were great. And I really hope that the people can get something from this. I pray that they really can hold something tight from this, and they can, and this falls on good soil.
Yeah.
I pray this falls on good soil, and as they walk every single day, they're watering it. I really do pray that. And if y'all don't have anything else, anybody? No? Well, that's all we have, y'all. We thank y'all for joining. Y'all comment down below anything that y'all heard any of us say. Y'all expound on it. And y'all, let's go out and let's just be the change that we want to see.
Amen.
The strong way.
The strong truth done did it again.
The strong way.